You have to imagine I wore a tuxedo here, and and I didn't wear official pants, let's say it like this.
Hello and welcome back to the Point and Click Devlog, an ongoing series that somehow now has over 1,000 subscribers, which is bananas. Today I want to talk about how indie developers can market their games on social media, but I want to do it through the lens of someone who I think has mastered the art. Please allow me to introduce one of Indie Dev's most infectiously positive and cheery members, Jonas. Actually, you know what? I think I'll let Jonas introduce Jonas.
As you know, my name is Jonas. I'm from Germany and I'm 34 years old. And I'm not really a game developer. I'm actually a teacher. I teach English, ethics and philosophy here in Germany at a high school. And a couple of years ago, in 2016, I started making a long-time dream come true by making a short adventure game for a game jam, actually. I don't know if you know this, there is something called Adventure Jam. This is an event on Game Jolt that happens annually, and I decided to take part. So I found Visionaire Studio, and it made creating a game possible for somebody like me who has no idea about how to program at all. That was 2016, and I created a short game called The Diary of a Roadie, which was about a roadie, what a surprise, trying to find his backstage badge to get back into the club.
I sat down for a talk with Jonas because he's come a long way since Diary of a Roadie, and because since then I think he's become something of a genius at the art of indie game social media marketing. But we'll get to that. First, we need to talk about crowdfunding, paying people, and death. And that's because 3 Game Jam games later, Jonas is now working on Prim, a Tim Burton-esque point-and-click adventure game about Death's daughter, which is currently live on Kickstarter with a free demo, and which smashed its initial funding target in just 22 hours. And Prim, unsurprisingly, is the culmination of many years worth of passion for the genre.
I thought, okay, now I want to do something big, something that I've always dreamed of doing since being a kid. Because probably it's the same with you. When I was a kid, I got a burned CD-ROM from my uncle, including Day of the Tentacle, and it totally got me. And from then on, the point-and-click adventure genre was my favorite genre of all time, and I really like other genres as well sometimes, but nothing could ever compete. So I decided to make something like that.
So for a couple of years now, Jonas has been working with a small team to make Prim a reality.
At first, I was really lucky to having met many great people in my game jam years that decided to support me doing Prim as well. So the first challenge was actually finding a team who's willing to support me. And I'm really happy with the team I got. There were a couple of changes throughout the years. Then the second big challenge, of course, is turning that game idea into an actual game. And it took me really long to really start working on the game. I made sure that I had a plan of how many scenes I would need, of what the puzzles would be broadly, not planned out completely, but I had to have an idea. And it wasn't until 2019 that I really started working it and creating something playable.
He even submitted the game in its early state to the German Game Awards, where it was actually nominated for Best Prototype and netted Jonas a small chunk of funding. That was enough to form a company and get things off the ground, but when you're a team of people, things can get expensive fast.
Of course, all these talented freelancers I work with, they deserve money for what they do. And in order to give it to them, I need money, of course, as well. And so I'm trying to get it funded. This is my challenge right now.
If you've been hanging around here for a while, you'll know that I made a video a few months back about how I don't think Kickstarter is right for me, personally, as a solo developer. But with Jonas needing to finance artists, musicians, voiceover actors and more, crowdfunding makes perfect sense.
I think when it comes to funding your game, you at first have to find out what options have I got. And of course, there's a quite traditional route you can take, getting in contact with a publisher and hoping that they will publish it, finding a private investor who believes in the project. There are a couple of ways, trying to get grants, or there's crowdfunding. And I think crowdfunding is something that you really have to want to do, and not only because you want money. I think crowdfunding is called crowdfunding because it's about a crowd, it's about a community. And I think the cool thing about crowdfunding and the rewarding thing is that it's a good reason to build a community beforehand, because without a community, without a crowd, you can't crowdfund. And it really motivated me and kept me going in recent months to build a community.
And that idea about community is the key point here. I've been following Jonas and Prim's development on Twitter since the latter half of last year. And since then, I've been constantly impressed with how inventively he's been using it as a platform for promotion. Not only is Jonas active in the adventure game indie dev community in terms of conversing with other devs and championing other projects, but he's been really innovative with his own output. In the last few months alone, he's produced a number of songs that merge classic tunes with new lyrics that reference iconic adventure games. He's run a Prim advent calendar with asset giveaways, and he's used Twitter to build a newsletter following who received the Prim demo earlier than anyone else. We all know that marketing is hard, right? And managing your game's social media presence can be a chore. So I wanted to ask how Jonas has found the energy and the motivation to keep his posts so fresh. The answer? It's all about give and take, but in the right order.
I recently read a book on crowdfunding that I can really recommend. It's called The Crowdfunder's Strategy Guide by Jamie Stegmaier. And there was one sentence that I kept in mind. I hope it was him, another book I read. Before you take, you have to give. And this is basically what I'm trying to do each day. In the beginning, I made a plan, and I sat down in front of my computer and I had a calendar open, and I tried to find one interesting posting or interesting video or fun fact about adventure games that I wanted to post every day. And doing this, I developed a routine of, okay, on Monday, each Monday, each Monday I'm doing a poll on adventure game design on Twitter. And the longer I did it, the more people tended to drop by and say something about it or just vote. Because they liked it. So I gave them some kind of value to talk about. And this is my philosophy, basically. I just want to, before I come and say, I want your money right now, I would like to give people something, because I think they deserve something for being there and for being a community. It's rewarding. All these people on Twitter, or many people of them, they're not customers, or they're not followers. Actually, I have many friends now. I found many people that I really enjoy talking to and that I know something about. And this is the rewarding part of doing social media, because it's called social media. So you actually have to be social. And I think especially now, where I can't go to the pub with my friends as usually as I would like to, this is really cool.
I don't know about you, but I find that really refreshing and inspiring. Giving before you take, building a community, Jonas has learned that these things are naturally rewarding rather than being a time-consuming burden. And that's something I'm going to try and remember when I have more of a game to actually show off. But they say the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? Which is why it's great to see Jonas reaping the rewards for his social media marketing efforts. Prim met its funding goal in under a day, and at the time of writing, is working its way through stretch goal targets at a very healthy rate. If you fancy helping him make his dream game a reality, there is a link to the Kickstarter in the description of this video, and here is the elevator pitch from the man himself.
Okay, if you like point-and-click adventure games and you enjoy a dark and creepy but also a humorous setting, then I think Prim is the game for you. Go check out the Kickstarter page, and if you like what you see, I would be really happy if you pledge, and if it's just €1 or $1, it's perfectly okay. If it's 1,000, it's also okay, no problem. So just decide.
And look, if anyone who watches this does donate 1,000, I'm definitely going to invoice Jonas for a finder's fee. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me for another episode. I'm still working through getting my main character's animations all sorted before we head into Unity, but things are ticking along nicely on that front, so I hope to share a decent update sooner rather than later. Don't forget you can always join us in the community Discord server if you'd like to chat with like-minded devs about your project. It is a seriously helpful little community of over 100 fellow point-and-clickers. If not, look, no worries, hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.